Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Web3 Quick Bite Podcast, the podcast where we jam to the latest bits in the decentralized world and where we also talk to some of the brilliant minds in the industry. I'm your host, Olabisi, and today we're diving into the topic of how to build and scale in Web3. Whether you're a developer, entrepreneur, or simply curious about the blockchain revolution, this episode is for you. So let's jump right in. Building and scaling in Web3 can be a daunting task, but with the right knowledge and approach, it can also be incredibly rewarding. So, on the podcast today, I'll be sharing some key insights and strategies to help you navigate the Web3 landscape and take your project to new heights. As we all know, or as we are all aware, building and scaling in Web3 can be both challenging and highly rewarding. So, let's start by understanding the fundamentals. At its core, Web3 revolves around the principles of decentralization and trustlessness. So instead of relying on a central authority, Web3 utilizes blockchain technology to create a transparent, secure, and immutable peer to peer network. I'll take that again. Instead of relying on a central authority, Web3 utilizes blockchain technology to create a transparent, secure, and immutable peer to peer network. The whole premise of Web3 relies on is decentralization because there's no central authority controlling anything. There's nobody that we have to report to. So there's no particular leader. There's no one controlling it, like I mentioned earlier. And so that is, if not, that is, or let me say, the one thing that makes Web3 appealing is the fact that it's decentralized and there is no one controlling it or there's no one in charge of it. And so it's transparent, it's secure, everyone is their own boss. It's a world where everyone is their own leader. It's a world where everyone is their own boss. It's a world where everyone calls the shot by themselves and do not have to report to anybody. So it's transparent, it's secure. You can see what's going on, you can understand what's going on and other related things. And so to embark on your Web3 journey, you need to begin by identifying a problem or use case that can truly benefit from this decentralized model. Ask yourself, which is an important question you should ask yourself, if you are looking to build something or you are looking to benefit from this decentralized model. Ask yourself, what pain points can blockchain technology solve? What pinpoint? What are the use cases? What can I create that's going to make people lives easier while using blockchain technology? What are the things I can create? Look at options, brainstorm, research, have a vision for yourself. You can't just assume that because a particular person created something and then it's going to work it's going to work for you. So it might work. I'm not trying to be pessimistic here. I'm trying to be optimistic too. But let's say, for example, someone creates a startup that's profitable in the US, and then in less than 6 months they've been able to sign up, or they've been able to have over 100,000 users, and then you're thinking that, oh yeah, I can actually recreate something like that here in Africa, and you are just looking um at the positive side of it, and then you're not looking into what went into it, the tears, the struggles, and also considering the fact that America is a first world country, it's a developed country, it's they are privileged, and then they have access to, or I wouldn't say access, or maybe I should say access, but then raising funds is quite easier, or it's quite easy compared to you that you're in Africa. Being in Africa or being an African founder has its own limitations already. And so there are also other things to consider before recreating or trying to imitate someone else's um solution or someone else's use case, ask yourself questions, ask yourself the painful questions. Is it going to be feasible where I am? Is it going to be are people going to I'm trying to use simple language, simple English, like are people going to warm up to it? Amongst other questions that you should ask yourself. And so when you've done this and you have a clear vision, it is time to dive into the technical aspects. And especially in Web3, you can't just jump into it. Because it might seem like, yeah, there's a lot of money in Web3, people are building things, they are cashing out, they're doing this, they're doing that. And I'm sure you agree with me that you just don't want your own business or you just don't want your own use case or whatever it is you plan on creating to be a one off. You want something that's going to stand the test of time. You want to have the next, you want to have, build a unicorn. You want your company to be a first to reckon with. And so, if that is your long term goal, and then you're not just for the short haul, you are there long term, you have to have a clear vision. And then, before even going into anything, you need to have a clear vision of what you want to create. You need to have a clear vision of what you want to build before you now delve into the technical aspects, which is very, very important in the Web3 space. You just don't go ahead with it. You just don't say, okay, yeah, it's Web3. All I have to do is just do this and create tokens, get people, partner with influencers, build a community, and this and that, and I'll start making money. If that is the idea you've had all this while, sorry to tell you, whatever it is you're planning to build is bound to start from the beginning, even before you launch, even before it scales, it's bound to fail because there is no clear pathway, there is no solid projection, and the rest. So you need to have a clear vision, and then after having that, it's time to delve into the technical aspect. A crucial component of Web3 development is the understanding and utilization of smart contracts. So, what are smart contracts? Smart contracts are self executing contracts with the terms of the agreement directly written into code. And Solidity, you might have heard of Solidity, you might not have heard of Solidity, but Solidity is a widely used programming language for developing smart contracts. And platforms like Ethereum provide infrastructure necessary for building decentralized applications, which we call DApps. And creating a seamless user experience is paramount in Web3. Because Web3 is still in its early stages. Forget what people are saying it or how hyped or how hyped the people are, influencers are making Web3 to be. Web3 is in its early stages. There hasn't been a lot of mainstream adoption yet. And so creating a seamless user experience is paramount in Web3. We want to win people over. We are all trying our best. Everyone in the Web3 industry wants to win people over. We want them to say that, yeah, you should just stop using Web2. Web2 is the owners of Web2 are just there to steal your data. Web2 is just there to Web2 is not safe, Web2 is not secure, and a whole lot of things. So we're trying to win people over. And if you're trying to win people over to Web3 and your app, your website, whatever it is you're creating, the user experience is trash. Trust me, that's how you want to win people over because it's more like you aren't doing anything, right? You're just frustrating them the more. So it is important. Having a seamless user experience is paramount in Web3, right? And like I mentioned before, Web3 is in its early stages. And so, while blockchain technology is still relatively new to many users, it is relatively new to many users. It is important to design user interfaces that are intuitive, visually appealing, and provide clear instructions on how to interact with apps. Apps are decentralized applications, like I mentioned earlier. And so you need to design it in a way that it's clear for people, they understand, and it's easy for them to navigate. Because most people, when I talk to them about Web3, the excuse always is, yeah, I log on to so I check some Web3 website. For those that have like the faintest idea of what Web3 is, like yeah, they've seen some websites and then they don't understand what exactly it is they are doing. The user experience is a turn off, and then you get the oh, ugh. All those expressions like, oh. Nah, I think I'll just stick to what I understand best, or I think I'll just stick to what I know best. I I don't want to stress myself. It's stressful because I don't even understand everything that is there. The colors are bland. The user experiences, they might not say user experience, but then you get the hang of it. They'll tell you they just don't understand their way around it, and then there are no instructions on how they should or what the next step is. So if you are listening to this right now and then you don't want the usual eye rolling when you're talking to someone about Web3, you should put all these things into consideration. They are very, 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 very important to put into consideration. And should always remember that user friendliness and simplicity are key factors in attracting and retaining users. Yes. Forget the fact that um I don't want you to you're starting out and I don't want you to have the idea that yeah, everything has to be ging ging ging. Everything has to be yes, we have arrived. People will choose simplicity over anything any day. And just because it is simple, it is easy to navigate, it's user friendly, and then they understand. That is how you attract and retain users. Look at Pinterest, for example. Every other social media have can be rowdy, can be overwhelming, can be toxic. But then you go to Pinterest and you are calm. There's this wave of calmness that washes over you. You're just scrolling, you're taking in the aesthetics, you're taking in the beauty, you're taking in the good life, the good internet life that Pinterest has to offer. So that is how your website or that is how whatever it is you're building should offer people. You should offer them that user friendliness and that simplicity. And that is how you'll be able to attract and retain users. Pinterest is in a lane of its own. It's not competing with anybody. And if you check the stats, they have millions of users. Aye. And so if you have that at the back of your mind, you're not competing with anyone. You can have yes, of course there'll be competitors in the business sense of it. But then personal, competing with the most how do I say this that'll make it easy for my listeners to understand? You are not you're not trying to chase your customers away, you're not trying to chase your users away because you're trying to build something that's going to be overly appealing. So you're not doing way too much. So keeping it simple and it's user friendly. That is all you need to be able to attract and retain users, right? And so now that we've already spoken about that, now let's shift our focus to scaling, right? So one of the primary challenges in Web3 is the issue of scalability. People are wondering, how do I scale my company? How do I scale my brand? How do I scale my business in the Web3 space, in the Web3 ecosystem? Blockchains like Ethereum are face congestion and high transaction fees due to their limited capacity, right? However, like I said before, Web3 is still in its early stages. However, the Web3 ecosystem is continually evolving and various solutions have emerged to address these challenges. We have layer 2 protocols such as Polygon, Avalanche, and Solana. They offer faster transaction times and lower fees by building on top of existing blockchains. And so when you explore options like Polygon, Avalanche, and Solana, and understanding how to integrate them into your project, it can significantly improve your scalability and also enhance your user experience, right? And in everybody wants to be on Ethereum, everybody wants to be on the Ethereum ecosystem. But then if you are just starting out and you can't afford the congestion, the high transaction fees, there are other layer two protocols, like I mentioned before, like Solana. And I'm particularly excited with how the Web3 ecosystem is going because I'm seeing more projects springing up that using that have been built on the Solana, that have been built on Solana and Polygon. And yeah, they're fast. Anyone who is in Web3, we agree to what I'm saying. They are fast, and they also have they have faster transaction times, and they are user friendly. And so you as a project owner, you explore these options and understand how to integrate them into your project and significantly improve your scalability and also enhance your user experience, like I mentioned before. And in addition to technical considerations, Collaboration plays a pivotal role in the Web3 space. It does. Web3 is like a community. In Web3, you can't just do it all by yourself. There's no lone wolf in Web3. You have to build a strong network. You have to forge partnerships with other projects. And this is the only way you can scale faster and unlock new opportunities. You can't do this all by yourself. You can't say no, I'm going to do this all by myself. I'm going to scale this all by myself. I'm going to be a one-man mopo. No. In Web3, it doesn't work like that. You need to build a strong network and forge partnerships. That is how you can scale faster. If you have a goal, if you have a target, and say, yeah, you have a 6 month target and you want to reach social users, you want to reach a certain amount of users in a couple of months or in 6 months. The only way you can do this and achieve your goal faster is to build a strong network and also forge partnerships. Doing this doesn't mean anyone is going to take away your customers, anyone is going to take away your users, anyone is going to take away your audience. Yeah, it's just helping you get there faster. So don't come with that mindset that if I partner with other projects, they'll probably steal my audience. No, you guys are going to help each other get audiences. You're going to help each other grow together. You're going to help each other gain gain that what's the right word to use? Should I say gain that popularity or have that leverage together? So there's no reason, there's no need for you to have the mindset of someone is going to steal my project or someone is going to steal my audience now. In Web3, we look out for each other. We are the brother's keeper, being a brother's keeper. It's when someone says be your brother's keeper, it works well in Web3. That is what Web3 is about. We are each other's brother's keeper, right? And aside that, also engage with communities, attend hackathons and conferences, and connect with like-minded individuals to gain valuable insights from experienced Web3 developers and entrepreneurs. Like I said before, you can't do this all by yourself. So engage with communities, any Web3 conferences, register, attend, network with people, talk to people, connect to people who share the same interests, people who share the same experience. And you can even meet people who are way more experienced and build a network from there. Even meet your co-founders from there, meet investors and so on. And so the power of collaboration can fuel innovation and foster growth. Lastly, as you embark on your Web3 journey, as you're listening to me and you're about to embark on your Web3 journey, or you've embarked on your Web3 journey, it is essential to stay informed about the regulatory landscape. Web3 technology disrupts traditional industries, and regulators are still catching up. So, in all that you do not forget the legal part. That is important because you don't want a situation where you wake up the next morning and then there's a new law that has been passed, and your business that you've been working on for years, your brand, your startup that you've been working on for years has just gone down the drain. So you need to always stay informed because in the Web3 industry, in the Web3 ecosystem, things change fast. We might get to bed today with the news that this thing is this thing stands at a certain way, or it's like this, and then you wake up the next morning and things have changed and it's no longer how you left it the previous day. So you need to always stay updated, stay informed, and keeping abreast of legal and compliance requirements specific to your project will also help you navigate any potential roadblocks and ensure your project's long-term success. And yeah, so always be informed. That is the key word here. Always be informed at all times. As we wrap up today's episode, I hope you've gained valuable insights into the process of building and scaling in Web3. And I want you to always remember that the Web3 landscape is continuously evolving. So continuous learning and experimentation are vital. Embrace the decentralized future. And who knows, maybe your project will be the next big thing in Web3. I am rooting for you. I am rooting for all founders. I'm rooting for all startups, all startup owner in Web3, all builders, everyone looking to build something. We am rooting for you. And I sincerely hope that you take your time to build something amazing, something wonderful, something great in Web3. And I'm rooting for your project to be the next big thing in Web3. So guys, That concludes today's episode of the Web3 Quick Bite Podcast. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. If you have any questions, you can email them to web3quickbites@gmail.com or reach out to me on a social media profile, Web3 Quick Bites on Instagram, Web3 Quick Bites on Twitter, Web3 Quick Bites on TikTok. Your support helps me bring more exciting episodes to you, and your support goes a long way in bringing these exciting, insightful topics and episodes to you every week. So, stay tuned for the next episode where we'll continue exploring the fascinating world of Web3. Thank you for listening.